Right, now if we test run the window, yes, we then have the window appears where we actually built it. It would be quite nice if we were to put this in the center of the user's window, so we can have a look at that in just a moment on how to do that. But for now, if I just hit the patient records button, we get our patient records window comes up, and I'll just leave that open at the moment. We can't go into the report library because it's disabled, and then if we were to do exit application, that's then going to remove all of the OpenInsight windows. Now note, it does actually close down OpenInsight itself because we are destroying the whole of the system. So all of my OpenInsight has closed down on me, but that's the behavior that we wanted. If you've got any other windows that are running, maybe minimized, or you've got some services and stuff, it gets rid of everything. So we've now shut down the whole of OpenInsight nice and cleanly. So that's pretty much our switchboard done. I'm quite happy with that, but it would be nice if it was to open up centrally in the user's window. So let's go ahead and look at how we do that now. Right, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need some code, and as you all well know, I'm not an application developer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to an application I'm already writing, the one we looked at earlier. And we're going to go to this application entry window. I'm going to go into the events, and I'm going to go to the create event and into scripts, and there is if I just move this down so you can see a bunch of code here that I'm going to want to use. So we'll just simply copy that, and then we'll just come out of the out of that particular application, and then we go back into our clinic application we've been working on. We'll open up the little window that we've been working on, our switchboard window, and I want to do two things, actually three things. First of all, I want it to open up invisible, so we're going to turn the visible off. And then what I want to do is go into the events, and there's two events that we're going to need to set. The first one is on activated. We're going to need to make it visible, and we need to do that within code. So we'll just put some notes about what we're going to do, which is to make the window visible. And then rather than declaring things, I'm just going to call set property, and this is going to be at the window, and we're going to set the visible property, and we're going to set it to visible. So it's going to open up invisible, do some stuff, and then it will be made visible. So let's just compile that. That's okay. Yes, I'll do that. Now, the other thing we want to do is to change the create event. Now what I should have said there is you can actually use this drop down here to very quickly move between them. So we were in activated, and what I could have done is I could have just gone straight to the create event in there. And what we want to do is to paste in the code that was in our other application. This is really nice. I'm not a coder, I can't write this stuff, but I can cut and paste. And I've just gone into one application, dropped it onto the Windows clipboard, shut down OpenInsight, gone into another copy of OpenInsight, and copied it in. It's brilliant. I love it. Anyway, we've got our code here. Now there's some bits and pieces that I don't need. For instance, in here I'm going to get rid of the return 1 because I'm actually running a quick event afterwards. So that can go, and in the application I'm writing I need to make sure that I'm using a version 9 or later of OpenInsight for certain reasons. It's not overly important in this particular one, so I can lose that bit of code as well. Now obviously what I might want to do is have a look at the functions and subroutines that I'm declaring, because I might not want all of them, but I'm not too worried. It's a very simple application. I need set property because that's there, but I'm not sure. I have got a get property, so I need that one as well, but I'm not sure that I need the message one. Might or might not be in there. But at the end of the day, what this script is doing is it's establishing the user's window size, and then it's positioning the application in the right place. and this bit of code's doing it, working out the XY coordinates, and then obviously once it's done that, it will then display it invisible, and then the activated event will kick in, and hopefully it will display correctly. So if we compile that code, the syntax is correct, we can come out of there. Do you want to update the event handlers? Yes, I do. Okay, let's go and test run that. Okay, that, and yes. And you'll find now that that's actually opened up in a slightly different place than it did before. It's not a greatly different. Let's just come out of here. Just try this. If I move this over to here and I then test run that, you'll see that that's now jumping into the middle of my screen. It's not in the middle of the video because well, you might or might not know, but I'm actually only videoing part of my screen. But as I'm looking at that window is now opened up in the middle of my screen. If I open up patient records, again, that's going to open up slightly differently, so we might actually want to put the same code on there so that that opens up over the top. In other words, it will open up pretty much there. But at the end of the day, I'm quite happy with that now. We've got a nice little graphic, we've got the name of our application, we've got a Powered by OpenInsight logo on there, which is really good, and it's available to anybody that's creating OpenInsight applications should you wish to do that. We'd like you to. I've got my Revelation logo on there, just a little graphic, and my buttons, which are quite nice with my default button and the disable button, etc. So that's quite a nice little area to go into. So what we can do now, normally when we open up OpenInsight, I can launch my application and okay, that wasn't supposed to happen because we want to run our switchboard. So let's just close out of there, and what we need to do, remember we did this in the early days, is our entry point is set to the MP patient entry, so we just need to go in there and change that to the switchboard. That was fairly easy, and now when we launch our application, we're going to go through the proper channel. And you might want to have some licensing information on here, or all sorts of things you can do with a switchboard window. Anyway, that's enough for today. We looked at creating a switchboard, we looked at doing a few more things with buttons and centering a window on a screen. So cover a few nice little topics, and I look forward to seeing you for the next video when you're ready. Thanks so much for your time today. Bye bye.